From the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 360.
The Colts will close out the season with the opportunity to get a division win at home at Lucas Oil Stadium this weekend. This is Colts 360 as we kick off 2025 in studio with head coach Shane Steichen. Coach, with playoffs no longer in the picture, what do you need to see out of this group with a final opportunity to play together and close out the season?
I want these guys to just go out there and have fun, play together, play for each other, play for that horseshoe on your helmet, in this organization. Obviously, you play for the name on the back of your jersey every time you step out there. So be professionals and go have fun.
There are a lot of leaders in your locker room, veteran guys. I think of Ryan Kelly, DeForest Buckner, Quentin Nelson, Kenny Moore. How much does the rest of your locker room really look to some of those vet leaders as they prepare for this week and how they handle this game upcoming?
Yeah, I think it'll be huge. Obviously, the veteran guys that have been around, they know that, there's a standard every week of getting ready to go play. Obviously, being out of the playoffs, it stings, right? Everyone's stung by that. But at the end of the day, we all got a job to do, and that's go out and do our job on Sunday.
From the quarterback standpoint, what do you need to see from Anthony Richardson over the course of the week as he progresses through the back and the foot injuries to make him available for Sunday?
Yeah, we'll see how the week goes with the treatment and everything, and just make sure he feels 100%, and if he feels 100%, then he'll be out there.
Should he be able to go with as many stops and starts as he has had this year, what's important for him to show, for you, for the rest of the offense, for himself, with one final opportunity as you go into the offseason?
Yeah, obviously if he's able to go, I think it's huge, for his growth and his development to get another opportunity to go out there with his teammates and go play at a high level.
Highlight of last week against New York, that offense, 100-yard rusher, 2 100-yard receivers, and that game against the Giants, that's Jonathan Taylor, of course, Michael Pittman Jr., and Alec Pierce. First time that has happened, I always got to come with a stat for you, since week 9 of 2005, that trio would have been Edgerrin James, Reggie Wayne, and Marvin Harrison. How do you build off of that as an offense?
I think it's big. You want to have that consistency every single week when you step on the field. Hats off to those guys for the work they put in to go have that type of game with those statistics.
Alec Pierce is our guest in studio coming up in just a few minutes. What do you attribute the growth you have seen of Alec Pierce over the course of this season to consistently be the type of weapon that he has?
I think it's the consistency in the way he works. Shows up every day, locked in meetings, locked in practice, and then when he gets his opportunities, he makes the most of them. So it's great to see that jump from last year to this year. It's been phenomenal.
We mentioned Reggie, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the fact that Reggie is once again a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I know he really kind of downplays those individual honors, but what response do you see from the rest of your guys within this offense when Reggie is getting that recognition, and hopefully this is his year to get in?
I hope it's his year. His numbers speak for itself. His numbers are definitely good enough to get in, and hopefully this is the year for him because he definitely deserves it.
Absolutely, well deserved. And then flipping over to the defensive side of the ball, your defense has not allowed an opening drive touchdown all season long. What has made it difficult to maintain that level of effectiveness over the course of games?
I think, obviously starting off with the opening drive and not let them score is great. But it's the consistency of playing that consistent level of football for 4 quarters, and you're going to have moments in games just like offense, defense, special teams does. But it's the consistency every drive, putting those drives together.
And you have reiterated so many times in different situations the importance on finishing, whether it's, finishing tackles, finishing in the red zone with, touchdowns and not field goals. What do you want to see out of your team in terms of finishing the season in the right fashion?
I want to finish with a win. Go out with a win for these guys. They put so much work and so much effort in from the start of OTAs all the way through training camp and all the way through, a long NFL season. Go out, have fun, and finish with a win.
Coach, appreciate the time.
All right, thanks.
Picking things that I want to work on and try to work on that every single day. And then, I think also too, just the support from teammates, coaches, confidence that I felt in them, in me and my abilities, just kind of helping build my own confidence.
Coming up, Big Play AP. Third-year wide receiver Alec Pierce explains what's contributed to his development this season and who instilled the confidence in him to become one of the league's most threatening explosive play weapons. That interview and more still ahead on Colts 360.
Snickers Rookie Mistake Program is back again this season. Learn how you could win Super Bowl 59 tickets at snickers.com/NFL. Colts fans, be sure to visit the Bud Light Party Zone at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Bud Light Party Zone is above the north end zone in front of the windows that open to the Indianapolis skyline. Bud Light, the official beer of the Indianapolis Colts. Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, proud orthopedic partner of the Indianapolis Colts. At Forte, fellowship-trained physicians and staff provide comprehensive, specialized sports medicine and orthopedic care to active patients of all ages. To learn more, visit forteortho.com.
Flacco backs to throw. Has good protection. Airs it right side into the end zone. Going up and making a bid on the ball for the Colts is Alec Pierce. Touchdown! I-N-D-Y! First down, Flacco, play action.
There it is.
Loading up, taking a shot for Alec Pierce. He's under it, and he's got it down to the 20-yard line. Flacco with a bomb to the Midwestern missile. Alec Pierce, they're going to spot Pierce down to the 19-yard line of the Giants.
Well, it is the first ever time in the single season we have had a three-time guest on Colts 360. But when you are leading the league in yards per catch, it is certainly deserved. Alec Pierce coming off an incredible day against the New York Giants. What do you attribute to the development and the production that you have seen over the course of this season?
I think, just staying consistent, working every day, picking things that I want to work on and try to work on that every single day. And then, I think also, too, just the support from teammates, coaches, confidence that I felt in them and me and my abilities, just kind of helping build my own confidence.
Of those who have expressed and shown their confidence in you, who is it most that has been most impactful for you or that you've leaned the most upon?
I'd definitely say Reggie and then Pitt. Those two, I think they've just kind of always been in my corner, when things weren't going my way and just kind of telling me to stay consistent with it, time's gonna come, stuff like that. So those two guys right there, just always been great for me and just always there for me.
I remember a quote from earlier this season from Reggie where he talked about his first year as a coach was your first year in the league. Yours was the only pro day that he went to ahead of the draft. How has he just instilled that belief in you, really even before you were in the same building with him, from what he saw in you coming out?
Yeah, no, having the belief from a guy like that, future Hall of Famer and all that, it's just been so special. So I think that just builds the confidence in you, knowing that I was the guy he wanted in the draft, the guy he picked from all the receivers he evaluated. So it's just been great to have a guy like that in your corner.
Worth noting that Reggie is one of the finalists for the Hall of Fame yet again this year. Do you guys keep tabs on that in the wide receiver room?
Yeah, I think something just popped up the other day.
Yeah.
So, we congratulate him on it, but, hopefully this year is the year they finally put him in there.
And then going back to Pitt, when you talk about, his, working with you and going side by side with you over the course of your career, how do you find that you two really complement each other in the style of play, the style of players that you are on the field?
I think just for the type of football the team likes to play in that I think we both embrace, doing whatever it takes for the team. He's a phenomenal blocker. He'll go in there. He'll do whatever it takes, for if we're running the ball, he's going to be making those big blocks on the outside. And then, he's just such a tough, physical player, that guy that's just competitive, wants to win. So just seeing how he plays is just inspiring to me. I see him catch the ball, he's fighting for every single yard. He just wants it, man. So he's got a lot of he just plays with a lot of fire and passion that way. And I think I'm the same way in a little bit different sense, but I think just I'm just ultra competitive. The ball's up in the air, I want to get it, too. So
over the course of your career, you have caught touchdowns from 4 different Colts quarterbacks. Working with those different quarterbacks since your rookie season and proving your productivity with each and every one of that, how has that helped you grow as a receiver?
It's been an honor to be able to play with all these great quarterbacks that we've had come through here. And, for me, what I always tell people is I just try to focus on being as consistent as possible. Whatever the coaches say, if it's 18-yard route, at this landmark, I try to be exactly there, because then I know if we have a different quarterback coming in this week, they don't have to learn, oh, he's sometimes a little short here. It's exactly what it's going to say on the paper. So I try to be really consistent with my route technique and all that stuff, just to kind of ease the change in the quarterback.
And you have proven the trust that the quarterbacks have in you, because I think going back to week 1, that incredible throw, that touchdown against the Texans from Anthony. I think about the Jacksonville game when Joe goes to you in the fourth quarter and it's 3 receptions over 100 yards with a touchdown in critical time. How have you tried to establish that trust in addition to obviously that consistency that you practice with day in and day out?
Like I said, like you just said there, from practice, it's just all about just when you get the opportunities, it's going to be finite opportunities. We have a lot of good receivers, a lot of good playmakers, so just them trying to spread the ball is always going to be an issue. There's never going to be enough touches to go around. So just knowing that when I do get those opportunities, I got to make the most of them. And then, when you do make a play, they tend to give you another opportunity similar to that. Yeah, just learned that kind of early, or this year, that I got to make the most of those opportunities. And I think I did from the jump this year, kind of really made all the plays early in the year, and that built the confidence up in the coaches, the quarterbacks and stuff for me. And then I think it gave me more opportunities because of that.
You mentioned those big influences inside the building. Your biggest cheerleader is outside of the building, certainly your parents. They are road warriors. I would love to see their airline miles over the course of the last year, because they're traveling to see you, they're traveling to see your brothers play basketball. Worth noting, Alec Pierce, the Lute Olson Ivy League Player of the Week last week for the Princeton Tigers.
Yeah.
How excited are you to watch your brother? I know that they have a big game on Monday, but that family group text, I can imagine, over the weekends is just crazy.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do is watch my brothers play sports. I love, I think I actually got a game later today. I'm going to go probably home and watch once I want to get out of here. So, but yeah, it's always been special for me, and hopefully after the season I can go see him play in person.
Hey, big run in March Madness, big NCAA tournament run coming for the Princeton Tigers, right? You guys had that 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yes, we are manifesting it for sure. You had a huge stat line last time out against Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Are we manifesting a similar stat line, similar production for the regular season finale at Lucas Oil Stadium?
Just want to manifest a win.
Let's do it. Alec, appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
They stubbed their toe. They're going to have to live with it. There's going to be changes to varying degrees in the offseason. We know that year to year in the NFL. So just a disappointing end to the season for the Colts in terms of missing out on the playoffs, but they can still get a win to catapult themselves going into the offseason.
Still ahead, the first view from the booth of the new year with Matt Taylor. In the final Colts showing of the season, what the returning roster needs to prove to build upon in the offseason. Voice of the Colts in studio coming up next.
This season, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is teaming up with the Colts to shine a light on outstanding small businesses. Indy's our hometown, and boosting local business is just one way we want to thank this great city. Go to Colts.com/Anthem Spotlight to nominate your favorite small business today. Anthem and the Colts, helping Hoosier small businesses score. This message is brought to you by Meijer, the official super center of the Indianapolis Colts, and proud sponsors of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. It's time now for the Forum Credit Union Question of the Week. Jonathan Taylor recently had rushing touchdowns of 65 and 70 yards. Who holds the Colts record for the longest rush? Jonathan Taylor with an 83-yard run against the Texans in Week 6 of 2021. Visit the Forum Credit Union Fan Forum section of Colts.com to interact with other fans online. Forum Credit Union, helping members live their financial dreams.
Flacco under center. Gives off to Taylor with a fullback in there, and he trots into the end zone. Jonathan Taylor, touchdown, I-N-D-Y. And paving the way was Drew Ogletree for the Colts. And Indianapolis has their first touchdown, and they're back into the game now. It's the Giants 21, Colts 12 with the extra point to come. Flacco to Taylor, right up the gut, first down and more. 15, 10, 5, yes sir, touchdown! Jonathan Taylor rips it off from 26 yards away, and the Colts are right back into the game. It's now 28-19 with 11:03 to go in the third quarter.
This is our first view from the booth of 2025 as the Colts play their first game of 2025, which is also the last game of the 2024 season, right? You follow that.
Sadly, I can't follow that.
Well, Matt, unfortunately, the Colts have missed out on the playoffs this season. They do still have one final home opportunity against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But this is going to be kind of a season where the theme for the Colts was missed opportunities all around.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, we all remember what happened last week against the Giants, a missed opportunity right there. So to your point, it's 4 straight years the Colts are going to miss out on the postseason. That's the longest drought for the Colts since 1988 to 1994, and it's also going to assure the Colts a losing season for the second year, or for the second time in 3 years, I should say. So yeah, just major missed opportunity. You wanted to keep your playoff hopes alive the longest you could going into the regular season finale. So they stubbed their toe. They're going to have to live with it. There's going to be changes to varying degrees in the offseason. We know that year to year in the NFL. So just a disappointing end to the season for the Colts in terms of missing out on the playoffs, but they can still get a win to catapult themselves going into the offseason.
Something that head coach Shane Steichen has reinforced over and over was an emphasis on finishing.
Yeah.
And that's something that you want to finish out this season strong. How about from the offense and what they're looking for?
Great segue right there. And I think the offense last week, I think for the most part did their job. They scored 33 points with a backup quarterback in Joe Flacco, but it was just those little things that added up to big things, right? In the first possession of the game, you throw an interception inside the red zone. You had a missed field goal from Matt Gay, who's very capable of making from 54. So that was a missed opportunity. 3 total turnovers. You had, a key third down that you missed in the second half. So all of those things add up to big things, right? When you score 33 points in a game, you feel like you should win. But when you don't win, you go back and look at all of the intangibles and everything that add up to a loss, and you say, what could we have done better? You missed a 2-point conversion that you probably should have converted, some drop passes. All of that stuff matters.
And then from a defensive standpoint, you allowed the New York Giants to put up their highest point total of the season. And now you have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming in. And this is an offense that prior in the season, you really struggled to slow down.
Yeah, there's no question about it. You gave up 37 points to the Jaguars back in Week 5. Like you said, 45 points to the New York Giants. That's really disappointing. I mean, that's the worst offense in the NFL. They came into that game only averaging 14 points. You allowed them to have 45 in a game, whereas in their 3 previous games prior to that, they didn't reach 45 points combined. And it was the big plays, Larry.
The explosives.
The explosive plays. They had 6 plays over 30. 3 of them went for touchdowns. Gus Bradley earlier this week called it embarrassing. And it was, in terms of execution, the tackling. The Colts lead the NFL in missed tackles by a wide margin this year. There's going to be changes, right, on both sides of the ball, like we alluded to. But defensively, I expect some tweaks to not only the personnel, but perhaps the coaching staff. We will see. But I think, they've got individual talent on that side of the ball. Unfortunately, for most of this season, they haven't been able to put it together. So maybe they use Week 18 as sort of a bounce back, a prove it, and again, something they can launch themselves into the offseason feeling good about.
And as you point to individuals, there are some pretty prominent individual milestones that you will be tracking from the booth in your aerial point there, the bird's nest high above Lucas Oil Stadium on Sunday.
Milestone-wise, Zaire Franklin needs 15 more tackles to set the franchise record for tackles in a single season for the 3rd straight year. So he also continues to lead the NFL in total tackles, would become the first Colts player to do that since Shaq Leonard in 2018. Also tracking Alec Pierce. He's over 21 yards per catch this year. He would lead the NFL in that regard if he continues to have a good game in Week 18, but he would also be the first NFL player over 21 yards per catch in a season since 2010. We know about the great season that Jonathan Taylor's had. He's over 1,100 yards and 10 rushing touchdowns for the 3rd time in his career, but it's also a big game for impending free agents, right? Guys that are going to be possibly playing their last game in a Colts uniform on expiring contracts. You've got, Ryan Kelly and Mo Alley Cox, Dio Adangbo, EJ Speed, among others. It's big for those guys to set the tone on who they want to be as players to possibly come back in Colts uniforms.
All right, what is something that you are looking forward to kicking off 2025? You get this final opportunity to round out the season. Best effort, I know, coming from you up in the booth on the call on Sunday.
Well, you always put your best foot forward, right, regardless of whether it's a playoff game or not, or playoff magnitude. Listen, Larry, I know I speak for you. In order to have this job, you've got to put your best foot forward, and you don't take it lightly. Mm-hmm. Any chance you have, to broadcast games, do play-by-play, do sideline reporting, it's a huge responsibility and it's a huge honor. So regardless of whether or not the Colts are playing for the playoffs, we're going to bring it. We're going to have some fun, and we, in that regard, hope to close out the season strong.
And look forward to one final opportunity being at Lucas Oil Stadium with all of you fans. So appreciate you all rounding out your weekend, getting ready for game day with us here on Colts 360. And really, you can feel the holiday spirit still permeating as we ring in the new year. And that was very true with the Colts defensive line as they found a way to give back this Christmas and make the holidays even merrier for some very deserving children and families right here in Central Indiana through their work with the Bloom Project.
Bring in some joy. Let's go. Let's go.
Today we had dinner with the D-line, so the Kings have been able to meet players, and the Colts organization was able to get gifts from their list. So it's been amazing.
Hey, what we singing going in? Let's decide now.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
There it is. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. On behalf of the D-line, we want to grant y'all with some Christmas gifts, and I hope y'all enjoy it. We really appreciate y'all, appreciate the mentors and all that. I just hope y'all enjoy y'all gift. There you go.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That ball seems heavy. I need to see what's in there.
Today has just been so amazing, and to just see smiles on their face because they didn't know anything about it, for us, this was worth it.
Okay.
That's what I need.
That's my dream coat, man. That's a GT, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas, man.